Well, today I'm going to talk about the ultimate soft swim bait hack, and it is the most underrated tool you can have in your arsenal for throwing big soft baits. And what that is this little old thing called a tungsten nail. This thing right here, this tiny little piece of tungsten, has saved me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars and gave me more versatility with my soft bait than any other piece of terminal tackle possibly could. Just because it gives me the ability to run my baits at different depths and at different speeds than most guys can. It's really simple, it's nothing crazy, but it's been extremely crucial in my success with big soft baits. The whole idea behind the tungsten nail kind of just came to life as a way to save me a couple bucks here and there, because you know, swim baits in general are a lot more expensive than the traditional tackle, and given that they all come in kind of different sink rates, whether they're lights, heavies, rate of fall 5s, rate of fall 12s, rate of fall 16s, it can all start adding up really quickly if you want to have a catalog of baits that can fish all different levels of the water column. After going down that route for a little while, just kind of clicked one day where it's just like, wait a second, I can just buy the lightest version of a manufacturer's bait and then just load it up with tungsten nails to get the same desired result. But as I kind of dove in deeper on it, I started realizing, oh, there's a lot more I can do with the tungsten nails than just make my bait sink faster. There's a lot of advantages. Let's just take a rate of fall 5 HUD for example. This bait right here has probably been responsible for more big fish than any other swim bait out there on the market. I think that's undeniable at this point. But with that is, fish have also seen this bait a ton, an absolute ton. So what can you do to make this bait look a little bit different than the other 100 times it's came by them? Well, you can throw it deeper, or you can throw it deeper faster, or you can make it run mid-water column faster. That's where the tungsten nail comes in, and it helps you give your bait a different look and save money at the same time. Now, if you wanted to have the ability to fish all levels of the water column with this bait, in a sense you would need to buy 4 different HUDs. But I only buy one. That's the rate of fall 5. Because the tungsten nail can be the substitute for the 12 and the 16. I use 2 different sized tungsten nails. One is the 3/32 ounce and the other is the 1/16 ounce. This one is the second largest size. Let me hold them both up for comparison. So this is the large size right here. This is the second largest size right here. That's 1/16 ounce. That's 3/32 ounce. Those are the only 2 I use just because I'm putting them in pretty large baits. They come in a 8-pack for the larger one, I think like a 10-pack for the 1/16 ounce. And you can get them from a wide variety of tungsten manufacturers out there. For now, let's just kind of go through how I would traditionally set up a HUD in order to achieve the same rate of fall as a rate of fall 12 or a rate of fall 16. I take that large tungsten nail and I go ahead and I'm going to shove one right up in there. That's on this lower portion of the bait, right out there in front of the pectoral fins, right in where the gill plate goes in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And you just want to make sure that you put them in on the lower portion of the bait so that it keeps it keeled correctly. You know what? This HUD's pretty beat up, so let me grab a different one. I've fished this one a ton. It's all rubbery now. The nose is all blown out. I'm going to grab a different HUD real quick. Alright, I'm back. This one has never been messed with. This is a rate of fall 5. It's a rate of fall 5 with a jig hook, but you'll get the point. So, large tungsten nail. Take that bad boy. We're going to push it right up in the cheek. Kind of want to make sure we're running parallel with the bait, not stabbing into it too much. Kind of want it just running straight up along with the side of the bait. And then you're going to end up with these little tiny tag ends just sticking out right here. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Just slide it up parallel with the side of the bait. So now, when you look at it like this, we have one here, one there, They're not in the exact same location, but it will get the job done. That right there, those 2 3/30 seconds is basically going to put you at like your rate of fall 12. Now if you wanted to go a little bit more, you can start adding in the smaller ones back in this zone to create more belly weight. It's going to make that bait hunker down, especially if you're trying to bang the bottom and bang the bottom quickly. Now once we get back into this zone, I start turning these vertical. I don't know why, it's probably just habit. You can totally put them like this, which let's just do it for theats right now. Put one in there. And there goes another. So now I pretty much have a rate of fall 16 HUD. I also prefer to make sure I put that those tungsten nails are coming in from this direction. The reason being is if I'm going to be making contact with the bottom, I want the least amount of metal clicking sounds as possible. I don't want it going click, 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 click as it's tapping into little rocks. But there might actually be a time and place for that. There might be somebody out there that has a successful bite with the HUD going bing, bing, bing. Just those little tungsten nails clacking into rocks. That might draw just the right amount of attention to the bait. That's how I would set up a rate of fall 5 to make it into a rate of fall 12 and a rate of fall 16. Very simple. Cost you about $2 versus buying a whole nother HUD or 2 HUDs. And then if you just decide, hey, I'm going to fish in shallow water again, you just grab some pliers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm just right back to a rate of fall 5 HUD. That simple. Those tungsten nails make one bait so versatile, it is absolutely ridiculous. And that's not even taken into consideration of like, hey, we're not just focusing on achieving desired depths. We're achieving different retrieve speeds at those depths. So again, that's making your bait look different than other people's baits. And that's a huge deal. I mean, at least in my book it is. We can take another, widely known bait, the Baitsmith Magnum. This bait right here, this is the one that I was fishing in the most recent video, Big Bites from Deep. I was throwing out to right around 40 feet, dumping a bunch of line, and then dragging uphill to 20 feet. All the while, I was maintaining good bottom contact at a pretty decent clip. The only way I was able to do that is with throwing the tungsten nails in it. So with the Baitsmith Mag, there's a lot more body here. There's a lot more plastic that you can throw in. You get these in 2 different sink rates, lights and heavies. I always preferred to buy the lights. With these, I normally run, again, 2 of the large tungsten nails, and I like to put them in a little bit different area. I traditionally would put them right behind the pectoral fins. This bait's a little bit more blown out. The fins are gonna flap a little bit. So maybe I'll stab them in kind of right here where it's a little bit more meaty. I can actually tell that I've put them in here already before. There's a little hole, but same thing, kind of just stab them back up in there. And that's how I had this bait rigged when I was hitting that 40 feet in the Big Bites from Deep video. So I have those 2 tungsten nails right there. And then again, kind of run the same setup with one smaller one right back here, right where the harness ends. I just stab it back in there. I'm just getting a lot more weight to them. That way they get down quicker. I'm more efficient when I'm fishing. And then once they're down there, I can retrieve them, making bottom contact at a slightly faster speed than most guys can if they want to keep maintaining bottom contact. It's not rocket science. I'm sure there's a lot of guys doing it, but it's extremely helpful to making your baits far more versatile. I can't say that enough. It saves you tons of money. And if you can't find the right sink rates, you can make your own sink rate. That's like another huge advantage. So again, if I'm fishing this bait and I'm fishing it in shallow water and I can just keep the bait tied on, just grab some pliers, let's count it up. There's 1, 2, 3. Takes no time at all. It's so easy. Making a really expensive soft swim bait far more versatile, way more bang for your buck. Get it down quick if you want to fish deep, and then if you're done fishing deep, pull out those tungsten nails, you're ready to go. And these tungsten nails work on any bait. My battle shad, this is the 9.0. Even with that 12-aught 3/4 ounce beast hook in it, I'm still shoving multiple tungsten nails in it once I want to start fishing anything below 15 feet. This bait floats without a hook. Once you get the hook in it, it's going to sink, but sometimes I want it to bulldoze down there at 40 feet of water. The only way that's going to happen is if I throw multiple large tungsten nails in it. I'll even go over it. I'm not going to put the hook in this one because it's a twist lock style, too many ins and out. I have already fished this one, but I did some work to kind of save the nose on it, so I'm not going to put a hook in it unless I'm going to fish it anytime soon. But you can see this bait has already been bit. Plenty of teeth marks on it. Same thing with this one. I take these large ones and I jam them right up in there. Look, there's already holes in it because I've already done it a bunch of times. Now I just gotta... Oh! Actually, haha! Check me out. So that's the one I just put in. Should listen to my own words. There's already tungsten nails in this one. They're in there. Got them buried deep. So there's two. See what else I had going on here. And then there's the smaller one right there. Trip. And another smaller one. You just saw it right there. That's actually how I fished it. I didn't even realize that there were still tungsten nails in it. But if I'm fishing deep, you just saw the setup. I got two large ones right up here, right under the chin. And then I had two of the smaller ones right here in the meat of the bait, right above the belly fins. And that keeps that bait balanced. And it's just burning down there at a rate that most baits this size are not going to be able to do. So again, it just separates your bait from the rest. So now that we kind of went through like the placement of the tungsten nails on the two most popular big soft swim baits, which that's the Huddleston, the Baitsmith mag. I threw in my 9-inch battle shad for good measure. I don't think that this is like, you know, the cure-all by any means, but I do feel like it's been extremely beneficial to my fishing, and I wanted to share it because I think it will be extremely beneficial to a lot of guys out there fishing if they're not already doing it. Tungsten is not cheap, but in the grand scheme of it, if it's $4 for like an 8-pack or $4 for a 10-pack, that's far cheaper than paying another 25, 30, which HUDs, and those are cheap. HUDs are cheap these days. 25 or 30, or in Baitsmith case, 100 or 120, $4 isn't much. And it can make a world of difference in the type of bites and the size of the bites that you're getting. If you haven't tried it, give it a whirl. Saves you a lot of time on the water. And if you have any questions, please leave them down there in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. As always, we really appreciate the support. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.